Hey yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Mr. Rick here to talk to you a little bit about Celtic single string. This tune came up at a pickin' party I was at this weekend. Two of my friends are Alaskans and they grew up going to fiddle camps. Both of them and I have a strong affinity for the Celtic music, and they told me that this tune, "The Hills of Connemara," was very popular amongst the kids that went to the camp. It was also a pretty sweet tune. I thought it might be cool for me to show you guys kind of how I approach learning single string on the banjo, because it can be a little technical. So this single string stuff I don't necessarily like showing to people, but it's like, I might as well show you like a little one, and you might learn something that's useful down the road. So let me play you the tune as I have written it out. It goes like this. So that's the tune. They like to call it bop bop, and then how the kids learn is they go bop bop rutabaga mashed potatoes, bop bop rutabaga mashed potatoes, bop bop rutabaga mashed potatoes, dee doo dee doo doo. So bop bop rutabaga mashed potatoes. It's cool. So basically, how I like learning Celtic tunes is by playing it in the same fingering, so you could do it in two octaves without having to change very much. So basically, I'm going out of that D position. I like to call that the second inversion D, because the third is in the bass, otherwise known as a beta D. That's how I like to say it. And that's how I play it. I'm actually missing a note in there. Right there. Yeah. Where were we? Okay, yeah, that's how I like to. So I didn't write in all the little notes that you could do, just because I didn't want to confuse it. I didn't want to get you guys playing too much fancy stuff, because all the right hand work that's happening here is going to be single string. And when I say that, it basically means that your thumb is going to get the downbeat and your index is going to get the upbeat, if that makes sense. So it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So for instance, like this, like dot dot, it's like, because there's a like a 60th note rest in there, that's where an index would be, but this is going to be thumb, thumb, and this little phrase here, thumb one, thumb one, thumb. So that's basically going to be like the crux of this whole style, is being able to rhythmically orient yourself so that the thumb is on the downbeats and the index fingers are going to be on like the offbeats. So this whole phrase, that 16th note starting on the downbeat, thumb one, thumb one, thumb. And then what's going to be difficult is actually this fundamental right here, because your thumb is going to be playing that and your index is going to be playing that. And so what happens is your thumb's on the second string and then your index comes down to the third string. So that's going to be one of the hard parts. I mean, and then right here again, that well, you can go thumb, thumb, thumb them there, just because that's what that's how the technique would render this. Thumb, 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 because there's rests in between there. Yeah, so if you can sing that, that's bum bum rutabaga mashed potatoes. This measure one. And so what I'm doing there, as far as understanding, I'm playing a. Let me just make sure you guys can see that. Sorry, I got this. It might be useful to do a D major scale out of this position. I can write that out for you, because this kind of thing is useful. Whoops. and then up to there in the B part. But basically, that is your D major scale, and it's important to kind of stay within that and not play like your open second string. Because if you play your open second string for your B note, it's going to kind of mess up your right hand, and I like to do things, what's the word, like in a standardized fashion. So if I play my scale in this way, I'm going to play my scale just like that up the neck, and not really take advantage of many open strings, because it's not going to translate that well up the neck. So... that being said, let's move on to this measure, which is it's just like bop bop rutabaga mashed potatoes again. But notice the suffix of the phrase has changed from to and that's all. Those are all thumbs right there. You know, I like kind of throwing this one. That's going to be a challenge for those of you who are new to single string. This little phrase right here. Again, thumb one, thumb one, thumb. The challenge is going to be right there doing that little shift. Okay, cool. Third measure. Okay, cool. Again, I'm kind of lazy. Sorry, I should have wrote it. I did it yesterday because it was just easy, but now I'm just hearing it like that. Yeah, so this guy right here. For those of you who haven't practiced single string that much, this right here, well, I mean this too, they're thirds. They're not exactly steps. They're double steps. We call them thirds because it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you'll get it. But the thing about this music that I find cool, it's like I mean this is kind of my own philosophy, but the whole thing about Celtic music that really turns me on is that it's not that I'm learning this stuff, it's that I'm more remembering this stuff from being in all these battles against the Romans in my past life. Okay. Yeah, that being said, that little phrase should be like a very intuitive, natural thing to be able to play. Okay, cool. So don't be intimidated by this, because it's literally the same thing up the octave. So if you can play that whole phrase, you just move it up the octave. So just aim for your D note. Know that your D note is right there, and we're going to be, again, out of a beta shape, that second inversion D chord. And it's going to be literally the same thing in the right hand, same thing in the left hand. Except for that. Now, I put that right there because it's an open string. You can kind of take advantage of that. You know you're in D. You can do that. It's literally the same thing, and you could throw one of those in there. You could throw one of those in there. Let me just put that on all the others, just because it's a tight little rhythm. And I'm also hearing that. Yeah, you could do something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's gonna be this literally the same fingering. Also, I like doing it at different octaves because it adds a punch. It's really like a strong statement to the tune when you play the A part down low and then the A part the second time up high. Yeah. Again, this guy, when you're doing that should be a bar. Bar on the left hand. Again, it's a technical thing, but you'll get used to it. Okay, if you want more information on that, watch my video on the single string, and it'll kind of go into how I've practiced this stuff. Okay, so the B part. This doesn't have any lyrics. Just understand the rhythmic motif. And then the second part. I know my banjo's buzzing. It's killing me. I got a new banjo coming in the mail though. The neck is going to be cut on CNC. It's gonna be sick. Tim Davis, man, my boy, hooking me up. Okay, so this is basically your scale here. It's this end of the D scale right there that you wanna. You can use your pinky. I try to use my pinky as little as possible because it's just the weakest, and being able to go like ring pinky in the left hand, kind of, you know, it's just difficult, you know. It just, you could do it, like, it doesn't exactly suck a fatty, but like you can do it, but I try to avoid it. So this little, that little do re mi fa sol, do re mi fa sol. You see how I'm doing with my left hand? No pinky finger, shift with the ring. At least in this case, and that is what happens on measure 10. So 9 and 10. Notice the rhythm, the rhythmic motif here. Ba da 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 da, and the first one ba da 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 da, and then you got this guy, which is the same thing as measure 9, and then it has the same ending. This whole thing. The same ending as what's up here, except without that little ornament. You can throw that in there, but it's nice to have variations. Okay, cool. So now, literally, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the same phrase up the octave. This, remember, it's out of the beta D shape, and we go all the way up here. We're gonna be on the beta D shape just as well. It's literally the same exact thing as down below. Yeah, it's same right hand pattern, same left hand pattern. The only difference is the frets are a little smaller, but you just got to know it's the same thing and operate from that knowledge, dude. And that is the Hills of Connemara. Thanks for watching.